Okay. So thank you everyone for coming, especially those who came in person, risking their lives. We're all doing well. Thank you. First off, I always say Achron Chabib, so I guess I won't thank the person I want to thank the most first. But I do want to thank all my Chabrusos who I've learned different portions of Seder Moed with, in no particular order. Aaron Rossi and Yitz Grossman, way back in the YU days, learned Beitza together. Rabbi Mordechai Fierstein, we learned Moed Katan, and Jeremy Simons, we finished Moed Katan together. Mazel tov, Jeremy, I'm finishing Moed Katan about 4 years ago, whenever that was. Avrami and Nitzan Frogel, on learning various Mishnayos and Shabbos, Rosh Hashanah, Tainus, and Psachim with me. Thank you both very much for your insight. Dr. Stan Eisen, who I'm currently learning Shabbos with, and I've learned portions of Shabbos with, and thank you very much. And my father, I'm learning Shabbos with right now, also in the Gemara section, not just the Mishnah. So thank you all for contributing to this and teaching me part of Seder Moed. Just a quick few words. This learning, most of Seder Moed, it was for Leila Nishmas and my dear friend Yossi Eisen, or Yosef Shimon Ben Zvulun. I miss him terribly. I think about you every day, Yos. Also dedicated to Leila Nishmaso is that book over there, that beautiful sefer written by my bestie. It's not just for teenage girls. We even say that here. He's on there?
Yeah.
Hi, Eitan. Rabbi Dr. Eitan Eisen wrote a beautiful sefer called Talmud on the Mind. You're all required to take one out as you leave. It's a wonderful, wonderful sefer. The #1 bestseller in Talmud, #1 bestseller in Talmud on Amazon. So that's something. I probably got that wrong, but no, it's really excellent. So I highly recommend you give it a good old-fashioned read. It's excellent. If you haven't heard me, it's excellent. Especially for those who learned Daf Yomi, it goes to Sefer Brachos, Sefer Maseches Brachos, and I think you'll find it very interesting. It's a short Dvar Torah that I heard from Meir Tversky years ago. So anything that sounds a little off, it's not because of him, it's because of me. So the Shulchan Aruch, Siman Reish Samach Ches, brings down a very well-known halacha regarding one who mistakenly says weekday Shemona Esrei on Shabbos. We all know what the halacha is. None of us are, but you have the Jews here. We all know that if you start saying thank you, you're done. Okay, you can put your plate down. Thank you.
Here, I'll take it.
Ah, excellent job, Ms. Hanel. All right. If a person starts saying, say for example, Atzah Chonei instead of Ta'achad and Mincha, the halacha is that you finish the bracha of Atzah Chonei. Interestingly enough, the explanation for why this reason is, I always found very striking. Of course, he found it very striking as well. Now, I'll quote the Mishnah Berurah who's citing a Gemara. But the Mishnah Berurah says that, again, why do you complete your weekday Shemona Esrei even though it's Shabbos? You don't stop yourself and then say, Atzah Echad instead of Atzah Chonei. So, Hatam Hu. The reason is, the Badinu, the Bailisli Yudchas Brachos B'Shabbos, Kamo B'Chol, Lahasker Kedushas Hayom B'Avoda, Kamo B'Rosh Chodesh, B'Chol Shemoed. That what really should be happening, if you want to take things as halacha really should be intended, is that on Shabbos, we are supposed to say a full Shemona Esrei, and then just add in, I guess, a Ritzei during Ritzei. Interestingly. Like we do on Rosh Chodesh, or Yal B'Yavo, and Chol HaMoed. You don't do that, though. Why not? Rak Mishum Kavod Shabbos, because of the respect of Shabbos, Lo Atrachu Rabbanan. Rabbanan do not inconvenience all of us. The Tiknu Bracha Achas themselves, we just give one middle bracha, L'Shabbos. And that's enough for now. For me, this is like music to my ears. Everyone knows me. I'm very, very machmir on Tirchat Tzibura. That's why I'm trying to go really quickly here. Very, very machmir at Tirchat Tzibura, which, as you see from here, applies on Shabbos. So it's not just for rolling the Torah, etc. during the week, but I hold that even on Shabbos. So if you're a painful cousin, please keep this Mishnah Berurah in mind. Just say this in jest. But leaving all that aside, it's pretty strange, right? Why are we not doing this kedin? If the halacha is that we're supposed to be saying Yudchas Brachos, and just because of the tircha, we're not saying it. It requires some explanation, or it would be nice to have some explanation. So we're going to try to do that. To explain it, just there's a I think everyone realizes now, as soon as I say, I'll say, aha, we have a bit of a redundancy in our weekday Shemona Esrei. That redundancy is we say Ritzei, which means Hashem, please accept our tefillos. And right before we say Shema Koleinu, Hashem, please accept our tefillos. Right? I mean, they are different somewhat, but it seems quite redundant. Why not just use one of them? Why two? One right after the other. So we're saying when we're asking Hashem to accept our tefillos, we're asking Hashem to accept them as a korban. Right? That's really what's behind it. Say, and Shema Koleinu, we're saying Hashem, please, we just ask you for a whole bunch of things, a nice long laundry list. Please give us those as well. The Ramban in the Akdama to Sefer Vayikra explains that what the idea of a korban is, what we're saying in Ritzay is, but the idea of a korban is that when a person brings an animal onto the Mizbeach, what he's really doing is saying, I really would love to bring myself onto the Mizbeach, but instead I'll bring this animal. What does that mean? That means it's like this idea, this notion of Hispalus HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that everything in this world is nothing except for Hashem. But without Hashem's will, without His existence, without His want for whatever happens in this world, nothing would exist. And we need to recognize that, and that's what that korban is doing. That's what we're asking Hashem to do with our tefillos. And how is tefillos like a korban? Well, thinking about it, when you go through absolutely all the brachos, you're basically asking Hashem for every single thing on earth. You need health, you need wealth, you need peace from your enemies, you need brain power. All these things that we're asking from Hashem. We're not just saying, please give it to us, but we're also recognizing that the only way we're going to get it is by asking you for it. It's that the only way we're able to survive and to exist is through Hashem's will, which is the same idea behind the korban. This idea of his Hispalus HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that he's the Manik Olam, and that there's nothing without him. Moving on to Shabbos, you can kind of maybe see a common point here. On Shabbos, we say Ritzei V'Menucha Seinu. We actually say in the davening, not when you make a mistake. When you actually say in the davening, we say Ritzei V'Menucha Seinu Hashem, except our observance of Shabbos, our menucha, which is, I guess, a code word for observance of Shabbos, and the way I'm speaking now, our observance as a korban. How so? Well, the idea is, what we're saying is, well, Hashem created the world. It's His world. He created it in 6 days, decided the rest in 7. That's what we're doing on Shabbos, by abstaining from malacha, from doing all the positive commandments, making kiddush and having oneg, all those things on Shabbos. We are there, and at that moment, engaging with our actions in the notion of Hispalus HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem is the Manik Olam. He controls everything. Therefore, by our very actions of keeping Shabbos, we're already achieving the same krava of the korban that a Yudches Tefillah would do, that a Shemona Esrei would do. Therefore, yes, you could come and say your Shemona Esrei on Shabbos. It would be fine. It's not inappropriate whatsoever. Nonetheless, it would be a bit of a burden, a bit redundant, because we're already keeping Shabbos, and which in itself is an exercise in recognizing our Hispalus HaKadosh Baruch Hu. To me, this brings I thought that was a wonderful word that I've always, it's both, to me, impacted my Shabbos and my tefillah. I hope you all enjoyed that, and you all over there as well. I just want to quickly explain the point of the Siyum. It's a little bit connected, but this may have been a bit of a hoodwink. I did not finish all the Masechtos in Gemara of Seder Moed. I finished Mishnah Seder Moed, and I started, there are some Masechtos thrown in there, don't worry, but some sections of Gemara thrown in there, but this really was an undertaking that I decided to do after the pandemic started, in right around Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah. We learned Mishnah Rosh Hashanah, so we just kind of kept going right through, went back to Shabbos, all those other things. And to me, yes, it is an accomplishment, and we're all very proud. And I want to thank. Well, I'll get to that in a minute. We're all very, very proud of this achievement for our family. But to me, this marks less, the words of Torah retained and learned, but more recognizing this period of our lives, where Hashem basically said to us, as He is the Manik Olam, okay, it's time to go bring Torah into your house a little bit more than you used to. My dining room, instead of having my Seder in shul at 5 in the morning, now it's here at 5 in the morning. And instead of davening at shul for a period, Nesacham is here. That we're turning our house, we're instructed to turn our house into our base medrash. And hopefully that's going to be, it has lifted somewhat here. Hopefully wherever you are, it's lifting and lifted. And we're able to really re-engage the way I think most of us feel is ideal. But I think it's very important to recognize that Hashem is exactly telling us it's time to bring Him closer into our homes. And I want to recognize that that's what we did. And we're proud of that. And I hope everyone here has done the same thing. I'm sure they have. We're no B'diavad Jews here. I think we all have done that, and I think we should all be proud of ourselves as much as difficult this time has been. I think we all have to be proud of ourselves and recognize this was a great period for that, for having our turning our homes more into the base medrash and more into the base knesses than they previously were. Whether or not we were forced to, it's a separate story. It's not for us to decide. But to us, that was great. And I think coming up in time of Hanukkah, which is exactly what we're doing, we're taking Kivyachol, right, the menorah, right? We're bringing one of the kelim from the Beis Hamikdash, putting it in our house. And we're saying, okay, this is our house. This is our little Mikdash mat over here. It's shining light onto everyone else. Nice little thing. And then just, that's, again, the impetus behind the Siyum. So I hope you can all take that from us. That's what we're taking from here. And I want to celebrate with my family. And the most important person in my family, my wife. Look at this beautiful setup over here. Gorgeous. Tons of food. This wouldn't be possible without you, with your encouragement, and with you, all this morning is you dealing with our screaming nut job 1.5-year-old while I'm able to learn. It's been instrumental in what you mean for this family and to everyone here. Thank you so much. Love you very much. All right, now I'm just going to finish up the last Mishnah in Seder Moed. Does anyone know what the last Masechta is? You'll get there all you up in Chagiga, I think. Otherwise, we're in big trouble. It's Chagiga. So the last portion of the last Mishnah was we're talking about. They made a special rule that there used to be this rabbinic tumah for all Amaratim. All folks who were just the lay people had this rabbinic level of tumah, but that was lifted in Yerushalayim during the Regalim. You didn't have this rabbinic tumah applied to all of them, except so as soon as it only applied during Shalosh Regalim. As soon as the Shalosh Regalim left, the tumah was immediately reinstated. Some was reinstated retroactively. Parts that were reinstated retroactively were the Kalim and the Beis Hamikdash. So we need to go and at least get rid of the tumah d'Rabbanan and the Kalim and Beis Hamikdash that now are retroactively tameh from during the Rega. So. Kol HaKelim Shai B'Mikdash, all of the utensils that are in the Beis HaMikdash, Te'un and Tefillah, require immersion in the mikvah. Chutz Mizbeach Hazav, Mizbeach HaNechoshes. So the explanation really, there wasn't Mizbeach HaNechoshes in the Mikdash, it was only Mizbeach Hazav, but they throw it in there. Would there have been a Mizbeach HaNechoshes in there? The only two items, utensils that did not require immersion were the altar made of gold and the altar made of bronze. Nechoshes is copper. Because they are like fixtures and attached to the ground, that's Rabbi Eliezer. So since the mizbachos are permanent in their nature, they're fixtures in their nature, we don't have to do a tefillah for them. The Chachamim argue, and the question is, what are they arguing about? You don't have to, let's give one explanation. They don't really argue on what the halacha is. This is according to the Ram. They don't really argue on what the halacha is. Rather, they say the reason why they are not considered not required tefillah is not because they are considered fixtures, because were they just considered fixtures, that wouldn't be enough to remove the tumah from them. Rather, because they're really made of wood, and the only fact that they have gold and or copper on them is because they are plated with copper. And that's not enough. It's really made of wood, and wooden objects that themselves are fixtures, it's not that they are like karka, it's not that they're like land, rather they don't require tefillah. Hadron Allah Meseches Chagiga, Hadrochalan Seder Moed. Okay. I'm just going to say the Siyum stuff quickly and we'll move on. Hadron Allah Seder Moed, but Hadrochalan, Datan Allah Seder Moed, but Datachalan, Lishtim Allah Seder Moed, Lishtim Allah Loma Amadim Loma Amadim, Hadron Allah Seder Moed, Hadrochalan, Datan Allah Seder Moed, but Datachalan, Lishtim Allah Seder Moed, Lishtim Allah Loma Amadim Loma Amadim. Hadron Allah Meseches Moed, Hadrochalan, Datan Allah Meseches Moed, but Datachalan, Lishtim Allah Meseches Seder Moed, sorry, Lishtim Allah Amadim Loma Amadim. Hadron Adonai Eloheinu V'Ser Beisor Asech Lupinu, V'Pi Amcha Beis Yisrael Niyeh Kulanu, Anachnu, V'Tzes Einu, V'Tzes Amcha Beis Yisrael Kulanu, V'Dei Shenachem, V'Dei Shesach L'Shma. V'Avai Tzech L'Meini V'Secha Ki L'Olam Lili. L'Hili Samim L'Chukacha, Ma'am Lo'Evor She'Olam Lo Yishkach L'Chukacha Ki Bam Ch'Yisanu B'Rach Atva Adonai L'Amdeni Chukacha Amen 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 Tzal V'Ed. Adonai L'Fanecha Adonai L'Hai V'Lei V'Sai Shesamta Chalki B'Yoshek Beis HaMedrash L'Samta Chalki B'Yoshek Parnos. Ani Mashkim V'Hem Mashkim Ani Mashkim V'Divrei Sora V'Hem Mashkim V'Divrei B'Seif B'Telim. Ani Amel V'Hem Amelim. Ani Amel Mekav Sachar V'Hem Amelim V'Hem Sachar. Ani Ratz V'Hem Ratzim. Ani Ratz Chayom Abba V'Hem Ratzim L'Ver Shachas Ne'amar B'Atah Elohim Toradin L'Ver Shachas Ashidam Mirma Lo Yichasu Gimeim V'Ani Avtach Ba. Here's on Fanecha Adonai L'Hei V'Lei V'Sai. Shem Tatzon L'Saim Seder Moed. Kit Hazin L'Pasko Star Macherim L'Saimam. L'Mod L'Amed L'Toch HaRchava. V'Shmor V'Lasos L'Chaim L'Kol V'Simet HaRasecha V'Yava. V'Spus Chol Tanoim. V'Samidei Cham HaNizkar B'Seder Moed. V'Chol HaSfarim Shalamadti. Yamod Li Ozari Ozeres V'Shalot. Samush HaTorah Dosh V'Pi Zari. V'Zeres Zari Me'atzvad Olam. B'Kayim V. B'Kasher Chasam. V'Salecha Kancha Osaf B'Shachbecha Shishmar Alecha. V'Kitzos Yislichacha Kibi B'Romecha V'Sivucha Shnos Bayim. V'Rachamim V'Bina V'Smalar Shev'Chavor. And Anai Zamayin Anai Rech Timo Shalom. We say Kaddish. Yiskadal Yiskadash Mirava. Madiu Asil Yiskadasa Lechayom Asayala Sakal Ason Lechayoma. V'Nekarti Yishalem L'Shlachla L'Hechla Kapegava. V'Nekar Palcha Palchana Nukra V'Nara L'Asava Palchana Tishmaya L'Asrei. Elmish V'Shabrichum V'Chazei V'Karei V'Chayfar בכל מחיים חוביס שעבר גלו בזמן קריב נו יש מרבה מבורך לעולם מה יספר שבח יספר בשמן יסנאסי יסדור יסלב יסלוש מקדושה בריחו לעולם כבסה בשעתה כבסה ונחמסה דאמרו ביום אבנו אמן I saw very well about me about to go come this some of them come on the asking the rise of Eva Swadin the people last time as I hear the whole new from Shlomo Rabba he was I mean the kind of everything was going to be kind of Kanama going to be Ishmael be bro I mean Ishmael Rabba Ishmael kind of being what I said no man Ishmael Rabba be Shalom Aleinu what I said no man thank you all thank you
Thank you guys. I'm going to end it now, and if anybody wants, I could send a recording. Hold on.